Hey, everybody, it's Monday night. It's Always Bookin Comedy. We were late because of me tonight. Hi, Saskia. How are you? I, I can't hear you. Is that my problem or is that we got no sound from you? But I'm going to talk for a little bit and we're going to see what's going on. It's Monday. It's Always Bookin Comedy. We got Saskia from, I think, Phoenix area, Arizona, maybe. Yes, Arizona. Okay. Terrific. And I think she runs some sketch comedy thing. And we're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff. I'm guessing maybe like your AirPods aren't connected, or you'll figure it out in a second. She's figuring it out. I'm gonna talk about, okay, she's on it right now. Got a little chocolate cake on my mouth. I've been a baker. I'm a baker today. What is going on with this? It's terrible. We need a commercial break to fix the chocolate that's all over my face and fingers. What is happening with this chocolate? This is crazy. Oh, she's back on a different.
Oh, there I am. Okay, so I'm on my phone. I was on my laptop earlier. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. You're terrific.
There we go.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay. How are you?
I'm great. How have you been doing?
I'm fantastic. Busy. Just did a show the other night. Packed out. Super fun. I love running shows when they work.
Well, yeah.
I live in Denver, and the big club is called Comedy Works. And I say that phrase all the time these days. I'm like, when comedy works, it is so much fun. You know, when you get like an audience that's receptive, you got the right comedians, you got the right lighting and sound, like everything is just jiving. It is like 1,000 times more fun than when comedy doesn't work, which does happen. You know, you get drunk hecklers or just like 12 people in a 100-person space, or a comedian shows up drunk, or I mean, that last one rarely ever happens. The comedians are
come on, you don't like that. You don't secretly love having to dig yourself out of a hole that you didn't even dig. You don't love that?
Right. That is not my favorite. But when things do work, like I knew this last show, it was up at a theater in Breckenridge, and everybody was so nice during the check-in process. I'm usually the guy that checks in people or part of the team. And at that particular theater, we tell them where to sit, which is pretty common in a lot of comedy clubs, but not folks who haven't been to comedy clubs. They don't always appreciate it. They're like, I bought a ticket. I can sit wherever I want. And this particular show, just everybody was cool. And they were like, yeah, I'll sit anywhere. Doesn't matter to me. And we filled in every single seat. It was awesome. It was like a game of Tetris.
I love that. I love that because that's one of my biggest pet peeves in life is to go to a show and none of the front row seats are filled up.
I did one.
I'm like, someone please do that because we need that.
I did one in Utah. There were like 150 people there, but the front center 6 chairs completely empty. I'm like, man, it would have taken so little effort to fix that. Yeah, it's a bummer. But anyways, the point is, when comedy works, which I would trademark if Comedy Works wasn't already a club that is like the biggest club in my market. Like I just say it all the time. When comedy works, it's the best thing ever. I was driving this headliner around. He's been on HBO and Comedy Central. I was just telling him like, that was a great show. That was a fun show. The show before, the night before, super fun show. When comedy works, it's the best.
I was just going to say, it sounds like that was the best night. And I've had a couple of those recently too. So I'm right there with you.
Let's hear about it. Tell me about like the venue, the comics, any kind of challenges, anything that went great.
Sure.
You got people tuning in online. You can ask questions if you're online. This is basically a show about working comedians, just talking, gossiping.
Yes, talking shop, as they say. I'm glad that you used the phrase working comedian. That was always kind of my goal when I started to take comedy more seriously. And that was just the thing. I was like, what do I want out of this? Well, I'm not delusional. I'm not going to try and, get famous or anything. I mean, maybe that'll happen, but I just really want to be a working creative and specifically a comedian. And it took me a lot of years to realize that being a working comedian or a working creative looks like a lot of different things all at once. Sometimes intersecting and sometimes not.
At Starbucks. Yeah, it looks like a lot of things.
Yeah,
Maybe
but I mean,
DoorDash.
I stay busy here, and I've had a really nice little blossom of creative energy here lately. And where I'm at with stand up specifically, since I think you're kind of talking about always booking comedy in the stand up world, um, I am trying to grow my set because right now I've got, plenty of experience as a host in clubs and stuff like that, but it's really hard, especially in Phoenix, to break into middling, because
Mm,
the corporate entities here don't do a lot of local development. They're pretty dedicated to their national headliners, which makes sense because that's where the money is, God knows. But so, in an effort to serve my own set and to get better at doing longer sets, I started traveling a little more in this past.
I was about to tell you a secret. The secret
Yeah,
is you go to a less desirable place where
that's
the real
it. That's
estate
it.
is a little cheaper. Maybe Honda, Arizona, or no, Pine Top, Arizona, for
I'm booked
example.
there in April, baby.
There you go.
So,
You get a
but
nice
yeah, I
long
mean,
chunk of
that's
stage
what I've
time.
come around to is that, you got to get out of town in order to do longer sets,
Yeah,
and to achieve any sort of mastery over it, which I am not going to say I have right now, but I know I have enough material to get to a really tight 45. Right now it's a real floppy, sloppy hour, but I'm working on it. And that's the great thing about finding these little pockets, these little communities that, yeah,
sure.
maybe they're kind of a captive audience because they don't have a big comedy club within driving distance, and they're usually like pretty hungry for entertainment, which is great for me. And yeah, it's just an opportunity to stretch your legs a little bit more and have longer set times because again, that's just so hard to come by in the Phoenix Valley for different reasons. I mean, I won't say it's hard to come by, but those opportunities are more rare than I would like for them to be. So it's that old thing of like you create your own opportunities. So that's kind of
Absolutely.
what I'm chasing right
Absolutely.
now.
What's the smallest town you've been to do comedy?
I'm gonna say Elgin, Arizona.
Never been. What's
Um,
there? Casino?
Winery. So it's a
Winery. Okay.
winery. It's south of Tucson. It's like almost to the border, but yeah, it's. I don't know where people live there, to be honest, because I drive in and I don't see anything. I mean, there's like some little teeny
They're
tiny
underground.
outpost looking, places. And I'm sure these people are like ranchers, they're like agrarian and landowners, and they probably live miles and miles apart because they have acres and acres of land. But
Sure.
this place is a winery that's kind of in the heart of that nothingness, so that is, I suppose, where people will convene and spend money to come out and have a bottle of wine and maybe pass an antelope on the way, which you do,
Okay.
which is exciting and exotic for
Is this like a
me.
winery, like a bottling plant, or do they actually grow grapes all the way
I
down there?
guess everything. I think everything.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
It's
not,
toilet
yeah.
wine. They're making toilet wine down there.
Yeah, I don't know. I really
Prison
expected
wine.
it to be like a Lucy and Ethel situation where I was going to go, be in the vat with my bare feet stomping grapes and everybody's having a good time, which I'm not above, by the way,
Yeah.
and not opposed to. But no, it's just kind of just a sleepy little thing, and it's a nice little mom and pop kind of operation, and the people are super duper nice, and everybody's super appreciative when you come through. So that is what I did here very recently for Valentine's Day, in
Nice.
fact.
Nice.
Uh,
Now
yeah,
let's go on the flip side. Have you done a big city?
sure.
I mean, Phoenix is a huge place, but have you been
Yeah,
to a
Phoenix is a
larger market?
huge sprawling city. So I'm more like where I traveled to recently, I was in Nashville,
Ooh,
and
fun.
I was really just tagging along with
Okay.
a friend of mine who was featuring for a regular there at Zany's
Okay.
in Nashville. But since we were going out, and again, I'm just like, I'm in this space where I'm trying to travel more and network more in that kind of way.
Yeah.
So I just picked up a couple extra little showcase spots,
That's awesome.
and had a great time. It was a lovely community. Nashville is not nearly as big as I was thinking it was. I don't know why I thought it was so much bigger, but really it was like 20 minutes and you're across the whole city. I don't know if anybody who's watching knows anything about the Phoenix Valley, but you can drive for an hour and a half and still be in Phoenix. And
I've been to Phoenix quite a bit. Less have I been to Dallas, but it feels like Dallas is 10 times as big as Phoenix.
It
Dallas
may
is
be. I mean, it's just that
biggest place I've
sprawl,
ever
you
been to.
know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they're building outward, not upward.
Yes.
So there's a little difference there. But yeah, I forgot how bad the roads are in some parts of the South too. I came from Birmingham originally, so I'm not totally like foreign to it. But yeah, it was kind of a trip. I was like, oh yeah, things aren't built on grids out here. They're built on billy goat trails and
Right,
coal
sure.
mining pathways. You know?
Horse and buggy stuff that
Right.
got paved over eventually. Do you know who Derek Stroop is?
I do. Yeah, he's from Harvest, Alabama.
Yeah.
I remember doing a show with him once, like when I first started, and he had already been in it for a while. And I remember thinking how funny he was. I couldn't remember any specific joke that he told or
Sure.
anything, but I
Was that in
remember
Alabama or
walking
in
away from
Arizona?
that. Do what now?
Was that in Alabama or Arizona?
That was in Alabama. Yeah, that was in
Unreal.
Alabama. It was like in
Wow. I did a
Huntsville.
lot. He came to Denver for 10 years. And so
Yeah.
I worked with him several times. And I mean, I saw him at open mics sometimes. And now he's been on the Tonight Show twice. He's got a Netflix special coming out next month. He's in a movie with Nate Bargatze. He is killing it. And he deserves everything. He is
I'm
so
just
funny.
tickled to death anytime I see him, because yeah, I just remember just from a little bar show how funny he was, and it really stuck with me. And so I was not surprised at all when he broke. So yeah,
he rules. He's the best.
totally.
He's really the only. I don't know a lot of folks from Alabama. He's part of a short list.
Yeah, Dusty Slay is from Alabama.
Okay.
He's pretty active in Nashville. In fact, I hit him up just for leads because I had never been to Nashville to do comedy. I'd been there like as a tourist when I was younger, but I had never been there to do comedy.
That's pretty impressive.
Some resources.
Just hitting up Dusty Slay, no big deal.
I felt weird I'm not gonna lie, because he's such a big deal now. But he's one of the first people I met when I started doing comedy at the Stardome in Birmingham. And he's just super duper friendly. And he's originally from Alabama, I think Opelika or somewhere maybe. But just easy to talk to. And I stayed, Facebook friends with him. And I just thought, well, why am I hanging on to all these Facebook friendships if I'm not going to exploit them? So no, but I hit him up and, fully acknowledging, I was like, you're such a big deal and I feel like such a dork, but do you know anybody that books things? And he helped me out. So that was really cool of him.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
You're getting things booked. You're always booking.
Always booking. That's the name of the game.
We met at the whole hecklers thing, right? Or golf, whatever it's called.
Ball busters.
Yeah. Golf heckling gig. Shout out to them, Ball Busters. Great. Book them for your charity event or whatever. That was a lot of fun. I wish I would have worked on your hole because we kept having golfers come through and say that lady on the other heckling thing is killing it.
There is something uniquely masochistic about a golfer who just loves loves being dressed down by a middle-aged woman. And I am happy to do that. I can't believe they pay me to do. I mean, dreams really do come true, kids. I can't believe they pay me to make fun of poorly dressed men. I was going to do that anyway.
That's amazing.
It was pretty cool.
I bet Arizona's going to be a great market for that.
Yes. Oh my God. They're blowing up too. It's Gateway Golf Group and they do a lot of like fun, whole alternative things, and games and stuff like that. But yeah, they have a huge presence here in Scottsdale and I've already got like 6 of those gigs on the books for the next couple months here. So yeah, golf is a big deal here in Phoenix.
Cool. I'm going to be down there, by the way, in, late June, is it? Yeah. June 19th and 20th, I'm at JP's Comedy Club, and June 26th and 27th, I'm at Stir Crazy Comedy Club. So
have you ever been here that time of year?
Yeah, every year.
Okay.
That's another secret. You not only can you go to a small town that's undesirable, you go to a big town when it is undesirable.
Yeah. So absolutely.
I'm headlining at JP's. I'm featuring at Stir Crazy, so I'm getting good quality spots. It's gonna be warm. It'll be warm.
It's going to be very warm, my friend.
The thing is,
Oh my
like,
God.
one, no lines at the restaurants because everybody who's local leaves town.
Yep.
Two, you don't really go outside very much. You're going from air conditioned spot to air
Yeah.
conditioned car. The only time you're really uncomfortable is like when you first get into your car in that first
Yes.
like 10 minutes. But eventually the car cools down and then you're fine. And then you go to like some restaurant that's air conditioned, and you go from there to a movie theater that's air conditioned. You go from there to a comedy club that's air conditioned. It's like, what's the big deal? I think it's
Yeah,
lovely.
that's it.
It's a
You just
dry
have to
heat.
be
I
able
don't know
to
if you
tolerate.
noticed. It's
Yeah,
a
you
dry
just have to be able
heat.
to tolerate small segments of heat.
Yes, yes. And it's not even that bad. It's dry, you know? And if you get
That's
up at
right. It's
like
a dry heat.
if you get up at like 4 a.m. to go hike Mount Sasquatcha or whatever that they renamed that one to.
Yeah, Piestoa, I believe it is. But yeah,
Thank
my
you.
husband's an avid hiker. He hiked 500 miles last year, including hiking the Grand Canyon by himself. He does the Camelback Mountain here, where they call it breaking the camel's back, where you hike over it like 3 peaks or something, and then do it backward. Um,
Cool.
yes,
That's
he's
fun.
very into
Does he
that
do it
stuff.
early? Like, or does
Yeah,
he leave at like
yeah,
midnight?
absolutely. Yeah, if you are not out there before the sun comes up, you're already cooked. Yeah, it gets way too hot way
Yeah, they're
early in
not
the
messing
morning.
around. They get some scary signs. You know, they're
Yes,
like, you will die.
happens
Do not.
every single year, Mark. Happens every single year. Always a tourist, always somebody that thought that they didn't need any water at
Yeah.
all. You know, and then you see the helicopter go do 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 and pick them up, and then I think they charge them, probably $8,000, and they never do that again
Yeah.
until the next
I
one.
see a helicopter every year, actually. At least
Yeah.
once or twice. If I'm there for a week, I see it once or twice. I guess
Yes.
I shouldn't laugh about it. It says I didn't realize that it was like a vulture. It was like the indicator of death. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So Arizona's a great place. Pretty fun. You got a
Yeah, I love
favorite
it here.
comedy club down there?
Yeah, I've been spending a lot more time at Mic Drop Comedy Club in
Okay.
Chandler.
Yeah.
Originated there, I think their first store was in San Diego, I believe, and now they're really rapidly expanding. They've been buying new properties from other shuttered comedy clubs. They've got one in Plano now, one opening in Detroit, I believe. And of course the one here in Chandler. I very recently, remember I said, being a working comedian looks like a lot of different things. One of my things is that I do ghost tours, and I'm a tour guide out of Mic Drop Comedy Club in downtown Chandler, because downtown Chandler is haunted.
No
And
way. That's
yeah,
crazy. This
yeah.
is so random, but I just read a comedian's bio who runs a show at a cemetery in Washington D.C.
Fantastic. That
Yeah.
is
So maybe
interesting.
you could mix the two together.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah, that would be amazing. But yeah, so that's one of the things I do over at Mic Drop Comedy Club, and they've been really really good about trying to rec me to headliners that come through, so I can start doing more hosting with them, because I haven't been around that long, as far as they know me. So that's been a really nice experience, just kind of getting to know the staff a little bit better, because everybody there
Yeah.
is like
Are any of
awesome.
the Improv Mania people still there?
That's a great question, and I don't know what
I just remember that
their
the owners were so nice. They were really good.
yeah, it's super duper. I don't know if they are still part of the ownership, but I do believe that the improv group does shows there on occasion. But I don't know if that is what they're focused on right now. Does that make sense? Because I
Yeah.
know that they're
Yeah.
realtors, I think, otherwise. So
Yes.
I don't really
Yeah, I
know, to be
remember
honest.
that.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's
super
talk
nice
about
people.
always work, no matter what you can do to be working. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were definitely like, you would email them about a comedy show and then come back. Do you want to buy a house in the
Yeah.
Metro Arizona later, Phoenix
Yeah.
area? That's terrific. Let's talk about golf gigs a little bit more. What are some of your tricks? You're a seasoned veteran of
Oh,
golf?
now, I think my favorite thing I picked up from my buddy Pat Bean, who also does Ball Busters. We've got a playlist. We just have like a Spotify playlist, and we hook it up to the Bluetooth speaker. So some of the gags are just like if you've got a bunch of old timers wearing a lot of pastel, they're going to get the Golden Girls theme song as soon as they pull up to the tee. Sometimes we'll give them the Jurassic Park theme just to really drive home that they are old. So, which really, to be fair, is the only thing that we make fun of people for that they cannot control is being old. We otherwise try to focus on their fashion and their actual athleticism on the course. But yeah, a little music cue never hurt anybody, depending on how rowdy the golf tournament is. And I've been at some of them where it was rowdy.
Okay.
Yeah, you can play different songs that go a little harder. But we also like to, if there's anybody that is willing to offer us intel on somebody in the group who's coming up, because typically these are like corporate gigs and they all work together in some capacity. So they'll be like, hey, the guy coming up next, he's the big boss. Go in on his wife, Deborah, or whatever. You'll wait till he's in his back spring and be like, how's your wife, Deborah, doing? Just off in the tree. So that's fun. It's just a nice little distraction. But yeah, we've got a lot of little tricks up our sleeves, but I leave it pretty loose. I let them guide me. I let them inspire me. It's usually pretty easy.
You ever get somebody upset?
Not really. No, because people know what they're getting into. I mean, it's branded. It says very clearly this is the heckler's hole.
We had a lot of people who were surprised during the first half of the day. They were like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, I guess I found that as the day wears on and people have had more to drink, they are more enthusiastic about the heckler hole. The first one of the day is never really a banger. You know, you're just getting warmed up. But
for sure, that's the earliest I've ever done comedy.
Yeah. Isn't it strange?
I think like the meetup time was like 7:30 a.m. or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's crazy to be like up before the chickens and getting ready to gig. But yeah, it's such a good time. I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a great way to spend an afternoon or a morning is just out on the green enjoying the good weather. Yeah.
That was amazing. Hey, we got a question from North Carolina here for Saskia. How do you handle your scheduling with golf, shows, ghost tours, etc.?
Very good question. I have to be very intentional. I've very recently weaned myself off of a paper calendar, which I used for years and years and years. But it got to a point where I was on the go so much, and if I didn't have it in my paper planner, then I also had like a show calendar that I would keep for my website. And I just realized I was like, I can't keep two calendars. It's just too difficult. So I kind of lied to myself that I still keep two calendars, but they're both Google calendars. Just one's a personal calendar and one is my show calendar. So anything that's a gig that I would want the public to know about, that's going to go on my Saskia Bee Comedy Google show calendar. If I've got personal appointments, like I'm going to the dentist or, you know, whatever, like I don't want people to know when I'm at the dentist. So that's on my private calendar. And the way the Google Calendar sync up is just that you can toggle on and off and just kind of say everything that you've got going on without feeding all of your private information to your public website, which is how my website is kind of wired right now. It's just pulling from my Google calendar, but it's only pulling from the comedy calendar, not the personal one. So that's something that I implemented very recently. And now that I've got all of that in a common interface, that has made it a ton easier to just keep everything on top of it. So I just have to schedule it when I know about it and not wait. If I have messages that I have not responded to, those stay like they're unread until I can respond to them. So I'm just trying to never, let those loose ends build up. I just deal with it as it comes and move on.
How do you deal with sending avails if somebody's like, hey, we want to book you in September?
Yeah, that's a good question. Avails can be so different for whoever the producer in the show is. I have to do my avails all the time. So it's a pretty regular thing for me, which again is why the Google Calendar comes in handy. Different jobs want different avails for instance, so like my ghost tours job, as an example, they want your unavailability. So they want your conflicts. And that's the same for Mystery Mansion, which is also the dinner theater company I work for. They want your conflicts for the month. And then that way they know what you're not available for. So whatever they schedule, they know they can pick you for that.
Right.
The way I do my game show job schedule, that goes through a different kind of interface. They've got a Slack channel, blah, blah, blah. So you submit your avails as you're able. I do mine about once a week or once every other week, and just say, the shifts you would be willing to take during that
Does a
block of time.
human read that, or is it like automated?
It's human.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty clever if it was,
yeah,
a machine basically that was doing the scheduling.
Yeah. But with like stand-up avails, that I handle a little bit differently. That's again, it'll depend on who booked me. So if it's like going to the casino, for instance, I usually will follow up after I do the casino gig and let them know that I received my payment, and always write a nice email to the, assistant who does all the admin work to get you your hotel and stuff, and let them know that you appreciate them. And then try to touch base with the booker and let them know about your experience and that you want to get booked again. So give me a date again. And then you just needle them until they give you the date again. So be a little persistent. So with the casino ones, I like to go ahead and like book the next one after I've completed the current one on the books.
Yeah.
For clubs, different clubs, they want your avails, like Stir Crazy, for instance, they want you seasonally. I think is how they do their booking. So they want you to send it, every few months. So like, don't be bothering them every week. That's crazy, that kind of thing. And then you have your independent shows, or like these winery shows that I've been doing. And that's just subject to whatever they have booked to give bookings out for. Because unlike a comedy club, it might not be a regular offering. It might be a one-off, or it might be a seasonal thing or a monthly show or something like that. So you just have to be ultra conscientious of everything. And that is the answer. It's just, you have to have a head for details to some degree, and follow through when you are, able to do that. Don't procrastinate.
Speaking of seasonal, are the ghost tours seasonal, or are they outdoors and only happen when it's reasonable weather?
Yeah, we will, I'm sure, cancel for rain and stuff like that, because it only rains 12 times a year in Phoenix, so it's not very often. But those tours, they have different ones actually. So one is just a standard history tour. So that doesn't really have like the ghost element to it. That's just for people that are genuinely curious about the history, because it is a very nice little downtown area. And then we also have the ghost tours, which are ghost stories and that kind of thing. And then we also just recently implemented the Strange Chandler walking tour, which is about like UFOs and aliens and weird lights in the sky and cool stuff like that. So there's different kinds of tours you can take. And then during the Christmas season, we had a holiday themed one, which really was kind of a lot of the same ghost story elements, but we just really picked and focused on the ones that were holiday oriented. So,
a lot of Ebenezer Scrooge. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got to start winding this down. I want to tell you a quick story about Liza Banks Campagna out of, I hope I'm saying her last name right, out of Washington, D.C. She was a comedian. She did tours of, museums in DC, Washington, DC. She moved to New York City. She started her own tour company, giving tours of Grand Central and art museums in New York City. And she was just like a month ago on the Today Show with Al Roker. And crazy. Cool. So you might be interested in checking her out and her career trajectory. She's killing it out there and very funny. And so, there's a big contingent of comedians who are doing tours. stuff. So
yeah, that's great to
it's good
hear because it is a ton of fun. Like when I first started, I was like, I don't know what I am doing, but I'll figure it out. And over the last couple months, I've found my pocket with it, and now I'm really having fun.
That's
So as
awesome.
long as I'm having fun, I'll keep doing it.
Cool, Saskia. All right, how can folks find you?
Oh, folks can find me on the Instagram at BEESASKIA. That is probably the easiest way to find me. I'm also on Facebook at that same moniker.
Okay. And she's
Yeah.
friends with Dusty Slay, everybody. All right, everybody have a great week. We'll see you next Monday. Stick around for a second, Saskia. And bye-bye, everybody.